Coneygree, first of all, how's he come out of Haydock?
Really, really good. He bounced out of it, and his stamina is extraordinary. So he got race tired and fatigued rather than exhausted, and he was in very, very good form straight after the race, and he has been ever since. It's so hard for them when they have to come back into that sort of race. You know, in the old days with Michael Dickinson, you used to run Silverback and things as 1 to 10 on in open handicaps. And if we'd been able to do that, it would have been much better. You know, get him on the track and then go and try and beat something as good as Q Card. So no one likes being second, but delighted with the fact that obviously his hunger and his ability is still there.
So going into Kempton, you'd expect him to be a sharper horse with the benefit of that run.
Oh, definitely. He needs his whole raison d'etre is to set at an incredible pace, as we saw at Kempton. His wonder year, he set a pace that the novices can't jump at, and so they all fell over. And I think that when you're trying to do that, when you've effectively been 18 months since you last had a race, it's very hard to do. To be able to have the focus and to have that last bit of race fitness. And because, as I said, he was full of himself afterwards, but it doesn't mean that he didn't get tired in the race. So he will be. He'll strip fitter and stronger, and just that little bit more switched on. I mean, he spends his life in ice boots. He spends his life doing extra walking, and he knows if you make it clear to him that he's got to do what he's got to do, he is just like on the racecourse. He's a real professional.
And ground conditions, what would you be hoping for on Boxing Day?
He would not run if the ground is not good to soft, really, or just jolly near good to soft, because he can go on good ground, but number one, it makes it easier for Q Card, and number two, you can just feel that it's an extra pressure on his limbs. And obviously, I did think it was probably too heavy for him at Haydock, but Kempton never gets like that.
How confident are you of reversing Betfair Chase form with Q Card?
Well, it's always difficult to beat something as good as Q Card, but I'm hoping that if things go our way and he gets into that real forceful gallop, that we can make Q Card have to try to get to us, and then we're in a race. You know, then we've got a shout of beating him. No, I just think that it would be a big ask for Thistlecrackers. He's a wonderful athlete, so of course he jumps, but he hasn't looked at ease with speed jumping. I feel it would be a very, very hard for him to go from racing against the sort of horses he's raced against when he can jump from within his almost steady canter to racing at full speed.
And jockey, who's going to ride? What's the news on Nico?
Well, I pray Nico, but I think Nico is needing his prayers to be answered to get back for the King George. And obviously Richard Johnson is more than an able substitute, but if the ground comes up reasonable, they might run Manora, in which case he might get claimed. I'm quite keen to be loyal to the various people who ride for us, like Aidan Coleman, Sean Bowen, but we've got to get the best we can, and the people who I believe will listen to us and Nico and Dickie now of saying that there's no point keep thinking, oh, I better hold a bit, because you've got to go as fast as you can go and then go faster. You have to go and beat them by the gallop, because you're not going to suddenly find Sprout Wings.
And if all goes to plan, will he go straight to Cheltenham? Would you be keen to give him a prep before then?
He is so fragile that, to be quite honest, if the conditions are right and he's really well and everything's in good order, we might easily go and have a spin round the Denman, because it keeps him fit. It stops us having to do as much at home. But it'll just completely depend how he comes out of it and what happens. We train him literally day to day as to what he throws at us, really.